Once crash retrieval became a typical operation and reverse engineering began, many secrets had to be kept as to what was discovered. It was also the beginning of a coincidental escalation in technical advancements for the human race. An incredible claim is made, quite seriously, by a career military intelligence officer whose record of service is impeccable and impressive. The claim is this: the wreckage and artifacts of a recovered alien spacecraft in 1947 near Roswell, New Mexico has seeded development of many late-century technologies, including fiber optic, night vision viewing, miniaturized silicon circuits, composite ceramic materials, laser development, particle beams, stealth aircraft, and unusually strong Kevlar-type fabrics, as well as advanced bioengineering technologies and other discoveries that will most likely not be disclosed anytime soon. The claimant is Colonel Philip J. Corso. He died in 1998, but not before publishing The Day After Roswell in 1997. He served in World War II, the Korean War, and in the mid-50s in the White House at the National Security Council. In 1961, he went to work for the Pentagon as chief of the Foreign Technology Desk, Research and Development, serving directly and answering only to General Arthur Trudeau, a highly decorated military hero. A few other countries were experiencing UFO activity as well as the United States. We know that the Soviet Union had its share of UFO crash recoveries, as well as Germany and a few others. A phenomenal amount of research was conducted and experimented with creating flying discs, and eventually the Germans succeeded to a certain degree. The first known flying disc was created in 1932 by a flight engineer named Henry Kawanda, whose designs involved the process of pulling air from above the craft and forcing it around the edges, thus creating a low pressure above the disc, resulting in lift. This came to be known as the Kawanda effect. In 1939, the Nazi war machine began to experiment with the Kawanda effect in hopes of creating an advanced aircraft so as to turn the tides of war in their favor. In Prague, Germany, under the direction of the Nazi technology chief Werner von Braun, the Germans experimented with approximately 15 different prototypes until they were successful with the help of scientist Andreas Epp. The final design of a flying disc, created by the Germans and put into production by 1944, was fast, versatile, carried a heavy payload, and had a vertical takeoff. These crafts were deliberately destroyed by the Nazis to prevent their enemies from acquiring them at the end of the war. Shortly after the war, Andreas Epp went to work for the Soviet Union, where he assisted them in creating their own version of a flying disc, which used the same principles utilizing the Kawanda effect. Shortly after, Andreas Epp moved back to Germany, where he was captured by the United States and placed in prison. While in prison, Epp handed over designs and concepts to the U.S. of work he had done with Germany and the Soviet Union. Not too long afterwards, the U.S. had developed its own version of the Kawanda effect flying disc and called it the Avrocar, under the direction of John Frost. The Avrocar was a very unstable craft and was succeeded by a superior design known as the 606A, which was powered by a massive Viper jet engine. Nevertheless, these countries built advanced craft that was still bound by gravitational and atmospheric conditions, which limited their capabilities, preventing suborbital flight. Many decades had passed since the Roswell incident, and many more craft had been recovered. In addition, we humans, who are incredibly smart, continue continue to seek out new ways of doing things, especially in the technical and bioengineering arena. Scientists like Boyd Bushman, John Hutchinson, David Sereda, and many others have been experimenting in the arena of electrophysics and anti-gravity. Many hobbyists are experimenting with electromagnetics and physics in the privacy of their own garages, which you can find on video sites such as YouTube. The implications of these studies and the results of reverse engineering UFO technology have been surfacing in our aircraft over the years, most of which is generally kept from the public for reasons of national security, as is most anything they don't want you to know about. Some of the craft using advanced technology, such as anti-gravity, are crafts we often spot as UFOs. Since we have not been officially notified as to what our governments and their contractors are building, it is reasonable to refer to them as UFOs. Some may be recovered UFOs of extraterrestrial origin, which have been kept operational. But just the same, there are about 10 secret projects that utilize anti-gravity technology as we currently know it, and they are:
the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, the Aurora, Lockheed Martin X-33A, Boeing and Airbus Industries Nautilus, the TR-3A Pumpkin Seed, the TR-3B Triangle, Northrop's Great Pumpkin Disc, Teledyne Ryan Aeronautical's XH-75D, Shark Anti-Gravity Helicopter, and the Lockheed Martin and Northrop's jointly developed TAW-50 Hypersonic Anti-Gravity Fighter Bomber.
As we know it, the development of anti-gravity vehicles have their limitations as well. They are confined to flying within Earth's gravity and may only achieve suborbital flight at best. Yet another source tells us that some higher advancements in anti-gravity craft built by the human race can in fact fly to the moon to an undisclosed base. We have seen images of structures on the moon leaked out from NASA archives indicating that there very well may be a base on the moon. The real question is, does the base belong to the human race or to extraterrestrials just hanging around? Our guess is we have cracked the code to those extraterrestrial UFOs and do far more than remain in Earth's orbit. According to many surfacing sources with creditable individuals on disclosure sites such as Project Camelot, we currently have a fleet of craft that can jump to Mars and back in an hour or two. It has been said that some of the craft in our secret space fleet are recovered alien vehicles which are still operational and piloted by the human race. Entertain yourselves and go out and rent a pair of night vision goggles and see what's flying around in space. You will be amazed if you have not experienced night vision before. The next big advancements are already in the works with the Northrop Quantum Teleportation Disc. The previously mentioned are the current state-of-the-art and advanced aerospace craft. There have been advances beyond mere anti-gravity field propulsion. Quantum particulate physics is now being used to update a variety of aerospace craft and their weapon systems. The future is here.